All right, so in a previous video, I talked about using ChatGPT for production. Today I'm going to show how that works a little bit more. So how do you use ChatGPT to create an image? How's it going?
Hi there. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How's it going on your end?
Good. Okay, so I want you to help me. I'm making a video. I want to show everybody kind of how to make images using the DALL part of ChatGPT.
Sounds like a great video idea. You could start by showing how to open a conversation in ChatGPT and then demonstrate how easy it is to generate images with DALL by describing a few different scenes or concepts.
All right, that's what my plan. That's what my plan is. Okay, so this so this is what I want to do. I know that I can't use the DALL add-on as part of the advanced voice. Is that correct?
That's right. You can't generate images using voice alone in the app. You'll need to type out your image request to see DALL in action. Maybe you could mention that in your video and show viewers how to use it by typing descriptions?
Well, you just mentioned it. I'm filming you right now.
Oh, nice one. Well, in that case, hey everyone. Remember, to use DALL in ChatGPT, just type out what you want to see and let your creativity flow.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you for a little bit before I get into that part of it and just have you kind of explain kind of the ground rules. So how does it work if I wanted to generate something that was in the style of a famous art style?
Sure thing. If you wanted to generate an image in a famous art style using DALL, you'd start by typing a description of what you want and then specify the art style. For example, you might say something like a cat sitting on a windowsill in the style of Van Gogh, or a cityscape painted like a Picasso. It's all about blending your chosen subject with the distinctive characteristics of the art style you're aiming for.
But now, wait a minute. Now, what if I want you to make an exact replica of a famous work of art? Can you do that?
Nope. DALL doesn't do exact replicas of copyrighted works. If you describe a famous painting, it'll generate something inspired by the style or elements, but not an exact copy. It's like asking an artist to paint their own version of a classic.
Okay, so for instance, like if I wanted a picture of Spider-Man and I want it drawn in the style of Todd McFarlane in the 90s, you can't do that.
Exactly. Spider-Man is copyrighted, so DALL can't create images of him. But if you describe an original superhero character and the style you're going for, you could get something cool that's inspired by that vibe.
So okay, so I can't do a copywritten character. What could I do if I want to, say, draw a grizzly bear in the style of Todd McFarlane? Could you do that?
Yep, you got it. A grizzly bear in the style of Todd McFarlane sounds like a fun challenge. You'd just describe that, and DALL would try to capture that comic book-esque dynamic style in its interpretation.
But are you trained on Todd McFarlane data? Like, how would you know what that is?
I'm not specifically trained on Todd McFarlane's work, or any specific artist for that matter. But DALL has been trained on a broad range of art styles and general knowledge about them. So when you describe a style, it draws on that broad understanding to create something that fits your description, even if it doesn't get all the nuances exactly right. It's more about capturing the general vibe.
Okay, so let me do this. Let me ask you one more thing. What are some uses for DALL? What are some good use cases if I was thinking about concept art? What are some give me the top 5 uses.
Sure. Concept art is a great area to explore with DALL. Here are a few possible use cases. Visualizing characters. You can describe characters from stories or games to see how they might look, experimenting with different styles and appearances. 2. Imagining landscapes or environments based on your descriptions, which could help with world building or setting the scene for a project. 3. Experimenting with styles. See how your concept might appear in various artistic styles or periods, which could inspire new directions or refine your vision. 4. Prototyping ideas. Quickly mock up visuals for brainstorming sessions or pitches, helping to communicate concepts to others. 5. Inspiration and exploration. Use DALL's interpretations to spark new ideas or explore variations on a theme you hadn't considered.
Okay. Well, let me do this. Let me switch over to the other mode so I can do the art. All right?
Sounds good. Just switch over and start typing whenever you're ready.
Okay.
I'm here to help with whatever you need.
All right, let's do this. Let's make a new chat. Um, let's try to make a let's do some like an outer space game, like super generic outer space game. Let's start with widescreen promotional image. Get to see my typing skills now. Image of a spaceship game. Video game where you shoot asteroids and defend a futuristic city. Okay, let's see what that gives us. Now it takes a little bit for it to think about it and generate the image. And we'll talk about kind of how to kind of steer it a little bit as well. So here's the widescreen promotional image requested. Pick a spaceship, futuristic city from asteroids. Looks cool. Reminds me of like old school Atari 2600, the paintings they would put on the cartridge. Let's see. Oh, let's try that. Give me an old school retro Atari version of this game. Let's see what this does. Now, I'm thinking it's going to give me like a screenshot of a game that looks like old retro graphics. Well, that's not exactly Atari, but it is 8-bit, kind of. Has the Atari kind of logo on the top too, which is interesting. All right, let's do some vehicle designs. Give me a futuristic spaceship design for the main craft. Use Tron inspired shape language. Let's see what this does. It might not do it because of the Tron, but it did say Tron inspired, so maybe it will do it. Yeah, there you go. So there's the ship. It added, I think because I said Tron, it added those electronic lines to it as well. Cool. Now make the ship into a character in the style of Cars. Let's see what that's going to do. It may or may not do anything. Sometimes it'll psych you out. That's not very good. It'll start to make something and then it'll change its mind and won't show you. Let's try the example I mentioned. Make Spider-Man swinging through New York City. I don't know if it'll do it. Wasn't able to generate the image of Spider-Man. Okay. Oh, so what was the thing I was talking about? A bear, grizzly bear in the style of Todd McFarlane. Grizzly bear in the style of Todd. Is it McFarlane? I think McFarlane. Is that right? Did I spell it wrong? I'm sorry, Todd, if you're watching. So I can't create an image specifically in the title of Todd McFarlane due to content policy restrictions. Okay. So it's told me it can't do it, but it's told me it can make a detailed dynamic image of a grizzly bear. And it gives me the option to say, yeah, go ahead and proceed, or no, never mind. So I'm going to say, yes, proceed. Oh, it still wouldn't do it. That's interesting. Uh, let's see this. Sometimes you can work around a little bit. Describe Todd McFarlane's style. Okay, so this is pretty complex. Okay, give me an AI prompt without naming names that would generate something in this style. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this bit, paste it in here, and I did say grizzly bear, powerful grizzly bear, setting intense dynamic pose. I'm going to say over a shredded tent. Shredded and destroyed tent. Okay, oops. All right. Let's see what it does. It's creating the image, it's thinking about it. I don't know if that's Todd McFarlane style, but I mean, it does kind of fit the bill with some of that stuff. Make it like a comic book from the late or from the mid 90s or early 90s. (1990s). Now, because it's conversational, when I say make it knows what I was talking about because we were just talking about this. So in some ways, it's a little bit more advanced with the prompts. That's pretty ridiculous. I mean, it does kind of look like a comic. I want it to be more like a drawing. More like a comic book drawing. Now we're starting to get a little closer to what I was thinking of there. It's not too bad, actually. Cool. Now, one thing that you can do with this, which is also cool, is you can do like in painting. So I can do a selection. I'm going to select his face, and I'm going to say make him roaring with slobber dripping down. So now what this is going to do, it may violate our terms of use. You can't show slobber. But I think it's trying to create it anyway. Let's see. I just ended up on a list somewhere, I think. No, it did it. There you go. Updated comic book style, roaring fiercely. So it changed the face. It kept everything else the same because I only selected that region there. I don't see any slobber at all, so maybe the slobber was the problem. Let's try. Let me select again. Spit. Let's see if it knows what to do there. I just told spit, and I selected the mouth. Let's see what it does. Now it remembers everything else about the image because I only selected that region. And I think it'll know to make it in the style of the rest of the image. It's interesting that it told me that it had slobber dripping down, but it didn't actually do that. So you got to always check the work. Now the in-painting stuff takes a little longer. Spit flying out as he roars. I don't see any spit flying out at all. It did change the face though. The mouth is it's a little different now compared to the last one. It's interesting that there's like stuff dripping off the hands. But I'm going to refuse to do it for the mouth. I kind of like that one better. Let's see the first one. Oh, that's actually the best one. So let's see. Maybe I can go back to this. Let's select this. Let's make it a little bit silly. Let's give the bear a beret. Let's see what it does with this. Now again, it's only going to affect that area that I've highlighted. It's thinking about it. Still thinking about it. So there's the bear with the beret. Now it changes eyes too, but I did have the eyes selected, so maybe those are the eyes that go with that kind of beret. I don't know. But yeah, he looks pretty angry, and it's definitely comic book style. That's cool. All right, let's try something else. Let's do widescreen oil painting of an old farm, and how do I type? Old farm and barn in the American Northeast in late fall, golden hour. Highly detailed painting. Let's see what it does with this. Now I'm expecting it to give me a good painting here. Sometimes when you tell it something like this, though, it'll add like a frame, or it will add like some of the art supplies sitting, like if you took a picture of a painting. Actually, that's pretty good. Painting the old farm and barn in the American Northeast during late fall and golden hour. So you can see it did a pretty good job. It kind of looks like an oil painting. Looks pretty nice. Let's say we wanted to change it up a little bit. Let's do let's do something that looks more hand drawn. Let's do hand drawn image of a space marine, rough charcoal drawing, construction lines, rough concept art. Let's see what it does here with this. And I misspelled image. But because it's contextual, it'll know that I meant image and not an image. Now that looks like something right out of one of those Space Marine-y kind of things. I don't play that game. Is it Warhammer? I don't know. This looks like Warhammer. I guess Space Marine is pretty. Can you make it more Halo? Let's see. This is where it starts to get into like some gray areas. That's pretty much like Halo right there. Like if you show that to somebody, they would say that's Halo. Make it like a Sanrio cat. like Hello Kitty. Let's see what it does. I don't know if it'll do anything. It might give us a very different result than I'm expecting. I'm expecting like Hello Kitty, but as Space Marine. There we go! That's pretty good, actually. Yeah. I mean, I can see why people get a little concerned about copyright. Let's see. Um, make this drawing into a 3D video game character. Let's see what it does with that. I kind of went back to the Space Marine thing a little bit more. Make a video game cover from this character for a game called Hello Kitty. Let's see what it does. It doesn't do text very well, or hasn't traditionally. So I don't know what it's going to do there. It might give me like a box. Actually, that's scary good that it knew the Halo. Yeah, it's rated M, it looks like, for mature. It's got the Sanrio name. It's got Kitty for some reason in the background. So this is where the paint over stuff can help. So let me go in here, and I'm going to select this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say remove the text. The in-painting stuff takes a little bit longer. This is real time. I'm not speeding the video up or editing it or anything. Yeah, so there it is without the text. Cool. Hello Kitty. All right, maybe we'll just call it there. I think that's pretty good. You get to see a little bit of how it works. Let's go back to ChatGPT and just finish with the conversation. All right, how's it going? So I did some DALL stuff.
Nice. What sort of DALL creations did you make?
Well, I made some stuff that kind of made me think that the copyright stuff is kind of fast and loose. I got some images that looked like they were right out of Halo, and I was able to make Master Chief pretty much straight away.
Yeah, it sounds like DALL's blending realism with creativity, which can sometimes toe the line on copyright. Did your results spark any new ideas for you, or were you just having fun?
Well,
Seeing which
I'm making a video, and that was what the video is for. So I made an image called Hello Kitty, where I took a Sanrio-inspired Hello Kitty and put it in the Master Chief armor.
That sounds like quite the mashup. Hello Kitty has a fun ring to it. How's the video coming along? Any other...
Well, I'm right at the end of the video here. So do you have any last-minute suggestions for folks that are trying to get good images out of DALL-E?
Sure. I'd say be as descriptive and specific as possible with your prompts. Experiment with different styles and modifiers, like digital art, watercolor, or even specific artist influences to guide the output. And don't be afraid to iterate and refine your prompts if the first results aren't quite what you imagined.
Awesome. All right, thanks a lot. I think that's a good place to stop for tonight's video. Yeah, awesome.
You're welcome. Glad I could help. Best of luck with the video, and have fun with your next creative project.